Today, if people had advice about how to meet a partner, I think what they probably would say something logical like joint respect, mutual interest, and things like that. But back when I was 20 years old, we bought into the Doris Day theory. Now what Doris Day did was, it was all of her storylines were pretty much the same. There was the woman, Doris Day, who was a good housekeeper and she could cook, but she didn't have the strength and she needed a man. And then there was the man. He was strong, he could fix things, but his home life was a chaotic mess. And he needed a homemaker. And that's what I bought into. So I set out to go to the bar to meet this man, to find myself a man. And I found one. He was blonde-haired, blue-eyed, about a half-inch shorter than me, very strong. And I didn't hear any red lights, alarms going off when he said that he frequently slept in his car because he stayed at the bar so late that he had run off the road and ran over a fence once. And that he kept an electric shaver in his car so he could get up in the morning and go to work. And when I saw his little trailer, it wasn't much, and that was the Doris Day Bachelor. He just needed me. So I married him, and before I married him, I was everything to him. He said I was very good looking, he was full of compliments. And something changed when we married him. It was like a switch got flipped. And all of a sudden, the insults came. He said I couldn't even make it as a hooker on Colfax Avenue. He said he didn't want me around my friends, and he started systematically cutting off my support system, cutting off my money. And he went to the bars quite a bit. Big surprise. I thought if I had good sex and love and a nice house that he was going to want to come home, and that's not what happened. So he also was a chauvinist in terms of it was okay for a married man to go to the bar, but it was not okay for a married woman to go to the bar. And so about 4 years we went and we started arguing quite a bit. And one day we argued so much that I found myself grabbed by the shirt, jerked up in the air up against the wall. I was up against the wall with my feet dangling, and I said, "Let me go." And he didn't. And I tried it again more forcefully. "Let me go." And he didn't. And I thought about it, what could I do to get myself free? And the problem is that when you do something like what my karate instructor would have suggested, you go whole hog. You don't just do something halfway. But I didn't really want to hurt him, so I kneed him. Didn't do it well. He folded me over and he hit me over across the back of my neck. So I went home for a while, but like a lot of battered women, I went back. It's hard to explain, but I was in nursing school. And I had just taken, this was 4 years now, I think. I had just taken the first day of the state board nursing exam. And we had some time off together. We had been like ships in the night. He would be on one shift, I'd be on another. We didn't see each other. We finally had a day off. We were doing errands. I was in love with the man, and I was enjoying spending time with him. And he said, the guys are having a beer party. And I ignored it. An hour later, the guys are having a beer party. So I said, well, if you really want to go, go. So he went. And I entertained myself for a while. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And then I just couldn't understand what was going on. 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. That was it. I was going to go find him. And it was going to be easy because he was the kind of guy that had a big, red, shiny pickup truck that was his heart and joy, his pride. And I went to Caravan West Bar where he was supposed to be, and he wasn't there. But it didn't bother me because I was going to go find him now. So I went to another bar and I found him, and I didn't find him initially. I found his truck. I walked in the door and I looked where I expected to see him with his friends. I looked at the bar. He wasn't there. Looked at the, that thing makes me nervous. Anyway, so I went out. I finally found him on the dance floor wrapped around another woman. So I took my purse and hit him with it. I walked out the door of the bar, and I wanted to hurt his truck. So I took a big brick, knocked it on the window, it bounced off. And I thought maybe he'd care. But he stopped to get his bottle of beer. So I grabbed his bottle of beer, he had friends behind him, and I smashed it across the windshield. And so then he jumped in his truck and he went to the nearest car wash. He was washing the truck. And I said, now that his friends weren't there and he didn't have to be a smartass, I said, just tell me why you did it. And I'm crying. Not a good idea to be a smartass to somebody who's impulsive like me, because he put the gun in my purse. We both knew there was 5 bullets in the gun. I got in front of that truck. Boom, 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 boom. Left the 5th bullet for insurance. Went home, cuddled my gun in one hand, my dog in the other, and thought, you know what? I have to go back to the state boards the next day. I got up in the morning, my guts were a mess, my eyes were bloodshot, and I went because I knew that was going to get me out of that relationship. And I took those state board exams, and I passed. I passed.